In NCAA Division II, student-athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student-athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student-athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Brome Pavilion in Seattle, Washington. Tonight, the Simon Fraser University Red Leafs are in town to take on the Seattle Pacific University Falcons. And this match features the reigning GNAC Offensive Player of the Week, Brooke Dexter, for the Red Leafs, and the GNAC Defensive Player of the Week for the Falcons, Hannah Hare. Hannah Hare is now the GNAC record holder in career blocks. She's got 598 of them, and she broke that record at Alaska Fairbanks on Saturday. The previous record was 597, and the Hannah Hare now just one in front and gonna rack up a few more, get over 600 for her career before she hangs it up. But a record-breaking performance there in Fairbanks, but the Falcons, though, unfortunately dropped both matches in Alaska to the Anchorage Seawolves on Thursday, and then to the Fairbanks Nanooks on Saturday, and that drops the Falcons down to 6-7 rather in conference play. 6-15 overall. They did not win a non-conference match this year. Played a lot of really good teams, but they were not able to beat any of them. And of course, the Falcons coming off of a GNAC title last year. Simon Fraser sitting on top this year. They are 11-1 in GNAC play and 15-4 overall. Made a point a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, when Central Washington was here, that Central Washington has not won the GNAC since 2005, but they have been to the NCAA tournament, I believe, the last 12 years in a row, and they're kind of right on that track again this year. They're in second place in the GNAC at 10-2. They still have a shot. They're going to match up with Simon Fraser one more time, but they got to get past Fairbanks. Fairbanks is now 9-4. They're in third. Fairbanks will be visiting Ellensburg, Washington this Saturday. And still some good matchups still on the schedule in the GNAC. Simon Fraser is on top at 11-1, Central Washington 10-2, Alaska Fairbanks 9-4, Western Washington 8-4, Alaska Anchorage is in 5th at 7-6, and the Seattle Pacific is in 6th at 6-7. Western Oregon, Northwest Nazarene, St. Martin's, and Montana State Billings below Seattle Pacific at the moment. As it's Professor's Night here in Royal Brome Pavilion, and so the pregame intro is taking a little longer. Each player coming out with a member of the faculty, a professor, for SPU, and not really able to pick up that audio. We're kind of up here behind some glass. Coming to you from Royal Brome Pavilion, though. I can see through the glass and give you a good commentary here. Simon Fraser has won 9 in a row, and they have beaten every team in the GNAC during that 9-match win streak, as including SPU. They have not had anybody push them to 5 sets during that win streak. They just have 3 sweeps in that win streak, but they have 6 4-set wins. And so during that 9-match win streak, they have won 27 sets. They've dropped 6. And trying to keep the momentum going here tonight, as Simon Fraser has had a lot of success under Coach Gina Schmidt. She's in her 12th year now with the program, but not sure if Simon Fraser has actually won the GNAC under Coach Schmidt. They've finished near the top 2 or 3 times, but the Falcons, as I mentioned, won the GNAC last year. Really struggling this year. They kind of had it turned around. They had a 4-match win streak here at home, October 17th through the 26th, but then they dropped the last 2 on the road in the at the Alaska schools. The Alaska schools go 4-0 against SPU this year. Simon Fraser, with 6 matches left to go, They will be at Billings on Saturday. They'll be at home next week, Northwest Nazarene and Central Washington. Then they will finish at the Alaska schools. And SPU will have Western Washington in here on Saturday afternoon, and then they will be at St. Martin's and at Western Oregon, and then home to close out the season against Montana State Billings. That'll be their senior day. We're getting ready to get this one underway here from Royal Brome Pavilion. And the Falcons, I mentioned Hannah Hare broke the GNAC record for career blocks. She's at 598. Emily Tolino actually broke a career high in assists, and she's done that a few times this year, but shattered her previous high of 49. She racked up 61 assists on Saturday in Fairbanks, and she actually picks up a Falcon of the Week award. Hannah Hare, the GNAC Defensive Player of the Week, and as I mentioned, Brooke Dexter on the Simon Fraser side, the GNAC Offensive Player of the Week. Brooke Dexter leads the GNAC in kills per set at 4 even, which is pretty much uncharted territory. The only player in the GNAC to be that to have a kills per set average of 4. There are a few that are over 3, and one of them also plays for the Red Leafs as well, Davida Hill, averaging 3.19 kills per set. The Falcons really were getting that kind of production out of Sarah Brockvogel last year, and she's been out injured this year. She's over there on the bench in street clothes, but really the Falcons have not gotten off to the start, or I mean, now we're pretty close to done with the season. The first serve put in play by Ava Person. Aaron Smith will send it back. Aaron Smith missed both matches in Fairbanks. There is Wilkes with a block on Malish, and Dexter sends it over for the kill as the Falcons unable to block it successfully. And Brooke Dexter starts it off with a kill. And as I mentioned, 4 per set for her. And so expect to see a lot of Brooke Dexter offensively for the Red Leafs tonight. There's Wilkes, and she gets it over as Malish and Megan Hawkins tried to block it but couldn't do it. So an unsuccessful block on each side to start this one off. And Allison Wilkes will serve with the score at 1-1. This is going to be Dexter, and she hits it out of bounds on the sideline near Coach Jason Ryan. Jason Ryan in his 3rd year with SPU. And they had a pretty good first year under him. Last year, of course, they won the GNAC. This year, they have not. There's Dexter just tapping it over into some open space. And score is tied 2-2. Megan Hawkins will serve. But they really have not had the success under Jason Ryan this year that they did last year. Trying to close out the season on a strong note, of course. Hannah Hare, as there's an ace, Cunningham diving for that one and couldn't come up with it. And it is now 3-2, Simon Fraser in the lead. They do, as I mentioned, now have the GNAC record holder in career blocks, Hannah Hare, 5th-year player out of Walla Walla, Washington. And she's looking for some more blocks tonight. As here is Eva La Rochelle, and she taps it out of bounds. And an attack error there. Red Leafs lead it 4-2. La Rochelle has been really pressed into service quite a bit with Brockvogel being out this year. And La Rochelle has improved quite a bit this year from where she started out. Freshman from Monument, Colorado. As the Falcons come up with a point there. And it's 4-3. Aaron Smith will serve. As I mentioned, they missed her in both matches in Alaska last week. Davida Hill is blocked by Emily Tolino. And Tolino rejected that one, got all of it. And it's 4-4. Smith will serve again for the Falcons. And she sends that one into the net. And that will give Simon Fraser the lead back at 5-4. Nina Kovacevic checking in. And she's up front with Hill and Dexter. And the libero serving for the Red Leafs, Mason Unger. This one is going to be a point for the Red Leafs. And they go up now 6-4. And Unger will serve again. She is a redshirt sophomore out of Prince George, British Columbia. And sends that one into the net. That'll make it 6-5. Falcons will get the ball back. Side out. Sydney Perry and Zoe Schuckert will check in. And it'll be Eva La Rochelle to serve for SPU. Person will set it up and Hill taps it over. Hare is there for the dig. And here's Person now setting it up for Dexter. And La Rochelle gets a hand on it, but the Falcons can't keep it alive. Tolino with the effort there. Couldn't keep it in play, though. And so the Red Leafs lead by 2. Brooke Dexter will serve as she comes up with a kill there. Brooke Dexter, the lefty. Just a different look. There are other lefties out there, but she's an outside hitter, a right side hitter that it's a different look than what a lot of teams are used to seeing. 8-5 the score. Red Leafs with the lead, and that's going to be an ace as La Rochelle had the dig there, but nobody went to get it. And went out of bounds a little bit, but a little miscommunication there on the part of the Falcons. Nobody went to try to set that one. Here's Tolino setting it up for Hannah Hare, and that's going to be a kill for the fifth-year player from Walla Walla. Falcons really recruiting a lot of different states now. Kind of seemed like they were all West Coast for a while. Now Jason Ryan has kind of that one's going to be blocked out of bounds, and it'll be a kill for Kovacevic. Kovacevic from West Vancouver, British Columbia. And she is a redshirt freshman. Davida Hill serves. That's going to be an ace. And the Red Leafs with an 11-6 lead here. Falcons trying to stay in this first set. Red Leafs trying to get one in the win column. Sydney Perry is blocked by Person and Kovacevic. And it's 12-6. Red Leafs lead by 6. And Jason Ryan is going to take a timeout. We will step aside as well here on the SPU webcast. We'll be right back in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. 12-6, Simon Fraser leads here in the first set. And the Falcons letting this one slip a bit, trying to get back into it. They're going to need to string some points together in order to do that. Davita Hill will serve for Simon Fraser. As Tolino sets it up for Wilkes, then she's blocked. Tolino sets it up for Wilkes again, and the Red Leafs again trying to keep that one alive. Person hits it into the net, though. And so the Falcons get the point. Aaron Smith will check in for Zoe Shuckert. And Emily Tolino will serve. Mentioned Tolino, one of the Falcons of the week. Just one male student, one female student named Falcons of the week. Allison Wilkes with the spike and the kill there. And Wilkes among the leaders in the GNAC in hitting percentage. Hannah Hare among those leaders as well. Really, the Falcons' middle blockers have really done quite well this year. It's been the outside hitters that have struggled and been inconsistent. Emily Tolino has had herself a season, a great season as the setter. The leader in assists per set is on the other side, though. Ava Person averages almost 9 assists per set, and there's another pass there. This one, though, ends up with the Falcons getting the point. Aaron Smith teams up with Allison Wilkes to drop that one over the net. They come up with the block. And the Falcons now down just 2. They've scored the last 4 out of the timeout. It is 12-10. Falcons were down 6. And right back in it. Gina Schmidt having a word with the official, but not gonna challenge anything. This one sent back by Megan Hawkins out of Kitchener, Ontario. This one sent over by Aaron Smith, and the Falcons now have scored the last 5. And they pulled back to 12-11, down just 1. Emily Tolino trying to tie things up here. Falcons took a timeout down 12-6, and they've scored the first 5 points out of the timeout. This one's going to be set up for Natalie Lemoyne-Sells. And sent back, Sydney Perry. Falcons keep it alive. Here is Wilkes. She's blocked. Lopez will set it up for Perry. And it comes down on the Simon Fraser side. They keep it alive. There's La Rochelle for the Falcons. Here's Wilkes. And a good dig there by Unger. And it's sent back through the hands of Lopez. Megan Hawkins drills the kill there for the Red Leafs. And it's 13-11 as they sub in Ava Kademi and Izawa Malish up front, and Kademi to serve, with the Red Leafs now leading by 2. That one is going to go out of bounds, and so the Falcons will take it on the service error, as Unger will check back in. Abigail Cunningham will check in and serve for SPU. And that one gets a little bit of the net on the way over, but Simon Fraser able to send it back off the hands of Lopez. And the Red Leafs take a 2-point lead again, 14-12 now, as Ava Person will serve. Person, a redshirt junior out of Brentwood Bay, British Columbia. A lot of the Red Leafs from British Columbia. Here's La Rochelle sending it back. And now Dexter taps it over, and Cunningham with a dive keeps it alive. And we're still going here. Here's Aaron Smith. Malish will set it up for Hawkins. And now Tolino for Smith. Good dig there by Hill. Smith again, and she gets it on the Simon Fraser side. And the Falcons back within a point at 14-13. Lopez to the bench, and Wilkes will serve. This has turned out to be a pretty good first set. The Red Leafs ended up with a 6-point lead not that long ago. The Falcons right back in it. Here's Person setting it up for Hawkins again, and that one goes out of bounds. And the Falcons will tie it up here on the attack error by Megan Hawkins. Yes, they do have the point up on the board now. And the Falcons now trying to take the lead with Allison Wilkes on serve. Hill keeps that one alive. Had to reach for it. Dexter blocked, and it lands in bounds for the Falcons. They take the lead, 15-14. And Coach Gina Schmidt has seen enough. She takes a timeout here. The Falcons have scored 9 of the last 11 coming out of the Jason Ryan timeout. We'll be right back on the SP webcast in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SP webcast. The Falcons were down 12-6. Now they're up 15-14. And Allison Wilkes is on serve. The Red Leafs from Burnaby, British Columbia, just minutes from downtown Vancouver. And I mentioned several of their players from the province of British Columbia. But they're kind of spread out throughout Canada. And a couple of players as Hannah Hare sends it over for a kill. And the Falcons take a 2-point lead. A couple of players from the States. Brooke Dexter from Anchorage, Alaska. And Logan Remington from Mercer Island, Washington, which is 10 miles, if that, from Seattle. That one lands out of bounds. And a service error there. Red Leafs will take it back, down just 1. And Megan Hawkins, the redshirt freshman, will serve. She's out of Kitchener, Ontario. They do have players from a few different Canadian provinces. Here is La Rochelle, and she sends that one out of bounds. She wants Jason Ryan to challenge the call. He's thinking about it. He's deciding against it. From here, it happened quickly. La Rochelle thought she had it in. The line judge right there had a good look at it. This one is going to stay on the Falcons' side. And the Red Leafs have taken the lead back now, 17-16. Falcons took the first point out of the timeout to go up by 2, and now the Red Leafs have scored the last 3 to retake the lead. Hawkins sends it over, and Cunningham is there. And Hannah Hare sends it over as Unger and Hawkins both deflected that one right into the official, the line judge there. He took the worst of it, but he's all right. They're checking up on him. This one is going to go out of bounds. Aaron Smith sent that one a little too long. And it is 18-17, Red Leafs in front, as Unger will serve. She's out of Prince George, British Columbia. This one sent over by DeVita Hill. And it goes out of bounds, and the Falcons take the point and tie it up at 18. Sydney Perry will come back in. And Eva La Rochelle will serve. The Red Leafs with players from... I'll get to that in a second here. I mentioned 2 from the States, several from British Columbia. La Rochelle gets blocked by Kovacevic. And it's 19-18. Kovacevic there for the solo block. Red Leafs have players from Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. I mentioned Ontario. They have 3 from Ontario. None from Quebec or any of the other Canadian provinces, but they have players from Kitchener, Hamilton, and Aurora, Ontario. Cross court set there and a block. Allison Wilkes and Emily Tolino teaming up on that one. Tolino really hasn't been much of a blocker until this year. She's really kind of adopted that into her game. This one goes out though. Lopez sends it long. And another service error gives it back to the Red Leafs. As there have been a few service errors on the last few points here. 20-20. This one coming down to the final points. Wilkes taps it over. Unger keeps it alive. Here's Tolino setting it up for Sydney Perry, and she taps it over and lands it in. Falcons take the lead 21-20. Aaron Smith will come back in for Zoe Schuckert. And Emily Tolino will serve. Tolino, senior out of Carlsbad, California. Aaron Smith just checked back in. She's also out of Carlsbad, California. This one lands in by Tolino and may have just gotten a piece of that in line, but it landed in for sure. It's 22-20 on the ace by Emily Tolino. Gina Schmidt takes another timeout. We will as well on the SB webcast. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SP webcast. First of 7 sporting events in the next 5 days here, as of course volleyball here Thursday and Saturday. Men's basketball is going to have a busy weekend with 3 home games, and then there will be 2 neutral site games that we'll also have an SP webcast for. That will take place Friday and Saturday, a couple of basketball doubleheaders, and then the men's basketball team playing again on Monday. Red Leafs take the point. Ava Kademi in to serve. Redshirt junior out of Aurora, Ontario. And she sends it over. Here's Perry tapping it back. And Kademi comes up to get it. It hits Malish. And it's going to stay on the Red Leafs side of the net. And the Falcons take a 2-point lead. Cunningham will check back in. Cunningham, a senior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. was the libero for a while for the Falcons. This one spiked over by Natalie Lemoyne-Sells out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. As Person and Dexter will come back in for the Red Leafs. They trail by just one, and they're trying to even it up here late in the first set. This one's had some momentum swings. This set has. Person, the lefty, puts it over. Tolino sets it up for Aaron Smith, and it's going to stay on the Simon Fraser side. And it's 24-22. Falcons with a set point, and Allison Wilkes will serve for the set. Trying to get that all-important first set win. Of course, a long way to go if they're able to lock it down. Good dive there by Cunningham. Here's Smith. That's blocked, and it's a point for the Red Leafs as Malish got to it. And I believe it was Megan Hawkins there as well. And Megan Hawkins, will serve now with the Red Leafs now trying to tie it up at 24. Hawkins puts it into the net, and the set ends on a service error as the Falcons take it 25-23. And they go up 1-0 here in this match tonight. As we will step aside on the SP webcast. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Back to Seattle Pacific University. Greg Sexton with you inside Royal Brown Pavilion. Falcons take the first set 25-23. It ends on a service error by Megan Hawkins. And the Falcons fortunate to pull that one out. They were down 12-6. And they strung some points together. And looking around the GNAC tonight, the first match to go final took place in Nampa, Idaho. Alaska Fairbanks defeated Northwest Nazarene in 3 sets. Western Washington is at Montana State Billings. No final there yet. St. Martin's is at Western Oregon. Those two schools will have Saturday off. Just one match this week. And Alaska Anchorage is at Central Washington. Central Washington playing host to the Alaska schools. Of course, Northwest Nazarene is as well. But there's a look around the GNAC, as normally between sets I kind of like to update the stats, but so far don't have those available yet. But I can tell you it was an exciting first set. Abigail Cunningham will serve to begin the second one. And here's Dexter tapping it over, and Dexter starts the second set with a kill just like she did the first one. As Kovacevic will check in for Malish for the Red Leafs. And Mason Unger will serve. Tolino sets it up for Wilkes. It's blocked out of bounds. It'll be a kill for Allison Wilkes. Score tied at 1. And Wilkes to serve it up for the Falcons. Hill puts it over. And Hare is blocked, and that one's going to stay on the SPU side as Dexter and Kovacevic teamed up on that block. And the Red Leafs lead it 2-1. Dexter will serve. This one's going to go out of bounds, though. And the Falcons get the side out. And it is tied at 2 here in the second set. Aaron Smith serving. And that one goes out. We've seen a handful of service errors in this one. I would, again, check on how many. I don't have the stats available to this point. We'll see if we get those up. Here's Davida Hill serving. Tolino sets it up for Aaron Smith. And the Red Leafs keep this one alive. Kovacevic blocked by Hannah Hare. And another solo block. We've seen a few of those tonight. As Hare rejects that one. And it's 3-3. La Rochelle to serve for the Falcons. Unger trying to come up with the dig there. It caroms off her hands into the seats. And La Rochelle with the ace. 4-3. Falcons with the lead. La Rochelle again, this time the dig by Jocelyn Sherman. I don't know if we saw her in the first set. I didn't call her name. That one off the hands of Hill, and it comes up short of the net. And the Falcons with a 2-point lead now at 5-3. Red Leafs making a couple of subs here. But it's still La Rochelle on serve. This one by Sherman is over, and Hare and Tolino unable to block it. So the Red Leafs get back to within a point. Kademi will come in and serve as she tries to tie up set number 2. La Rochelle the dig. Cross court set from Tolino to Perry, but she sends it out of bounds. And so the attack error there evens the score at 5 here in the second set. Kademi will serve it again. Here's Tolino setting it up for Perry again. This time she gets it over. And Malish sends it back. Tolino for Hare, and she keeps it inside the antenna. Now Sherman taps it over. Tolino for Perry. She taps it over the front line, and it lands in front of Ella McVitie. And the Falcons go in front by a point, 6-5. I don't know that I called Jocelyn Sherman's name or Ella McVitie's name in the first set. So Gina Schmidt making some tweaks to her lineup. There is Emily Tolino with the fake set, and she spikes it over for the kill. And the Falcons lead it 7-5. You got to pick your spots as a setter to pull that maneuver. You do it too often. There's an ace by Lopez, and the Falcons lead it 8-5. You do it too often, and they're going to be ready for it. But Tolino picks her spots well and saw an opportunity there. Lopez serving again. Sherman the dig. And spiking it over off the hands of Schuckert and out of bounds is Natalie Lemoyne-Sells for the kill. She'll check out now. Person and Dexter come back in, and Ava Person, the setter, will serve. Falcons lead by 2, 8-6. And they lead by a set as well. Falcons are 4-2 on their home floor this year. That's going to be on the Simon Fraser side. Falcons go back up by 3. Aaron Smith will check back in for Zoe Schuckert. And Tolino will send it over. And a good dig there by Lopez to keep it alive. Aaron Smith volleys it back over. Dexter sends it over. There's La Rochelle. Smith sends it back. Aaron Smith puts it over, and the Falcons take a 4-point lead at 10-6. Falcons up 4. The Red Leafs were up by 6 in the first set. And the Falcons came back and won the set. Here's Sherman tapping it over. Perry sends it back, and Hill is there for the dig. Here's Sherman. She's blocked, and the Red Leafs keep it alive. Sherman taps it back over again. Tolino sets it up for Wilkes, and that one ends up on the Simon Fraser side as a couple of Red Leafs try to block that one. Now the Falcons up 11-6. They were down 12-6 in the first set, and Gina Schmidt takes a timeout. Falcons stretch the lead to 5. We'll be right back on the SB webcast.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Broman Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SB webcast. Falcons with a 5-point lead here in the second set, 11-6. They were down 12-6 in the first set, and they came back to win it by a count of 25-23. Here's Emily Tolino serving. Unger there for the dig. This is going to be Dexter tapping it over. Lopez comes up and one-hands it to keep it alive. Person for Dexter, and Tolino gets to it. Here's Perry sending it back. And now this is going to be Jocelyn Sherman tapping it over. La Rochelle over with two hands. Here's Dexter tapping it with the right hand. Sydney Perry sends it back. Sherman goes to get it. And it's volleyed back over. Good rally going here. Aaron Smith is blocked. Sherman and Malish team up on that block for the Red Leafs. And they get back to within 4 at 11-7. Jocelyn Sherman, redshirt senior out of Victoria, will serve. And she puts it into the net. Didn't catch that one cleanly off her hand. And the Falcons with a 5-point lead again, as Abigail Cunningham will check in and serve. Mentioning earlier, she had been the Falcons' libero for a lot of her career. That one blocked by La Rochelle. Wilkes was there as well, but La Rochelle was the one that sent that one back. And it is 13-7, Falcons with the lead. Falcons lost to both of the Alaska schools here on their home floor, but they've won their last 4 here at home, including a win over Central Washington. Only the Falcons and the Red Leafs have defeated the Wildcats this year, as the Wildcats have a 10-2 conference record. That one goes out as Hill sends it just long, and the Falcons out to a 7-point lead now. Cunningham will serve it again, and Gina Schmidt is going to send in Logan Remington, the Mercer Island, Washington native, for Izawa Malish. Cunningham serving, and Sherman there for the dig. Here's Hill, and it's blocked by Smith. Dexter sends it back. Good dig there by Tolino. And now here's Smith. She's blocked by Hill. Smith sends this one into the net, and that will make it a 14-8 score. It's worth mentioning, really, every time Simon Fraser comes in, as Kovacevic checks in for the Red Leafs up front, they are the only Canadian team that competes in the NCAA. And there's a, I'm not sure how many different Canadian college systems there are, at least 1 or 2. I don't know what I'm talking about with Canadian collegiate sports. I know Simon Fraser is the only only NCAA school to play in Canada. Allison Wilkes there sends that one into the net, and it is now 15-9. But Simon Fraser has competed at the NCAA Division II level now for over 10 years. As Brooke Dexter comes up short on that one. We've seen some service errors tonight on both sides. Aaron Smith with the score now at 16-9. Here's Davida Hill, and she gets it over. La Rochelle will set it up for Tolino, and Tolino sends it well out of bounds. Tolino not used to taking the third swing very often, and she was unable to keep that one under control. At 16-10, Davida Hill will serve. Hill listed as number 22, but she's wearing 15. Listed on their on the Red Leaf stats as 22, so I don't know how often she has worn 15. She's wearing 15 tonight. That one lands inbounds, and the Falcons take another point, and they go up by 7, 17-10. Perry and Schuckert check back in for SPU, and it'll be La Rochelle to serve. And now, yeah, it looked like Gina Schmidt was trying to sub in. There's another block. Hare and Tolino team up on that one. As it's 18-10. Falcons trying to go up 2-0 in this one. And closing in on this second set. We'll be right back in just a moment on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion, Falcons have stretched the lead to 8 here in the second set. It's 18-10. And the Falcons up a set already as Gina Schmidt kind of maneuvering the chess pieces on the board, sending in Ella McVitie and Natalie Lemoyne-Sells. This one sent over by La Rochelle, and she lands it in. They let it go. And La Rochelle gets that in line. And it is 19-10. Falcons with the lead. Red Leafs are really up against it here in the second set. Sherman blocked by Tolino. Hare was there as well, but Tolino was the one that got her hand on that one and sent it back. And it is 20-10. SPU with the lead here in the second set. Red Leafs are up 6 in the first set, and the Falcons have really seized the momentum. Tolino will set it up for Perry, and there's another kill for Sydney Perry, and the Falcons lead by 11 at 21-10. Falcons went down 2 sets to Western Washington back on October 10th, and they came back and won that match. They were down 23-17 in the third set as well, and somehow pulled that set out. And they had their backs against the wall a few times that night in Bellingham. Simon Fraser takes the point, and Ava Kademi will come in and serve. But they got to dig out of a 10-point hole now. They were down 11. Tolino will set it up for Hare, and it's blocked by Jocelyn Sherman. And we've seen a handful of solo blocks tonight on both sides. It's not, it's kind of a rarity. Usually, most blocks, there are 2 players that each get a block assist. But quite a few solo blocks tonight. Perry sends it over. This one comes back. It doesn't come back. It stays on the Simon Fraser side. His hair went up for it and left it alone as it did not clear the net. Falcons lead 22-12. Lopez sends it over. Sherman there for the dig. And now the cross-court set for Sherman. Here's Tolino setting it up for Perry. And Unger keeps that one alive. Hill gets to it. Unger sends it back over. Tolino. That one lands out of bounds. No, it was deflected. It did land out of bounds, but Simon Fraser touched it. And it is 23-12. Jason Ryan is going to bring in Brooke Williams, freshman out of Oregon City, Oregon. And she's fired up as she gets to serve here with the Falcons up by 11 in this set. And Brooke Williams, is she seeing her first action? We'll double check this. Schuckert and La Rochelle gets it back over. This one sent over by Lemoyne-Sells, and they're going to say it hit the antenna. It's going to be Simon Fraser's point, though. And so that'll make it 23-13 as Williams checks out. And that is, for Brooke Williams, her first action of the season. Jason Ryan has a deep bench, a lot of freshmen. But, of course, not having the type of success that he had last year. And I think a lot of that due to Sarah Brockvogel being out. This one. And really the Falcons just had a lot go their way last year. They've had some matches where that's been the case this year. But they haven't caught the breaks that they did last year. That one sent over by Dexter off the hands of La Rochelle. And the Falcons unable to keep it alive. Simon Fraser back within 9 at 23-14 as Ava Person will serve. So Brooke Williams got in for the first time this year for SPU. Here's Tolino. And Wilkes is blocked as Sherman and Remington team up on the block there up front for the Red Leafs. And they're still playing hard in this set. Down 8 now. Ava Person will serve. Never want to give up on a set regardless of how far you are behind. You got to play it out to the end. Dexter sends it over. Good dig there by Schuckert. Here's La Rochelle sending it over. And that's going to be a kill for Eva La Rochelle as Davida Hill couldn't come up with a clean dig there. And the Falcons with a set point. Tolino to serve. Aaron Smith back in as well. Falcons won the first set 25-23. It was a close one. This one, though, they have really kind of run off and dominated this set a bit. Here's Dexter, and that one's going to land on the SPU side for a kill. And so Simon Fraser gets the side out. Back to within 8. Jocelyn Sherman will serve. Lopez the dig. Here's Tolino setting it up for Perry. And Sidney Perry gets it over. They tried to block it, couldn't do it. And the Falcons take the first 2 sets of this match. And Simon Fraser has not lost 2 sets in a match in quite a while. 9 straight wins. None have gone to 5 sets. And the Falcons, with the first 2 sets here, this is going to either go the way of the Falcons or it's going to go a full 5. We'll see how things play out. Starting in the 3rd set coming up, we're at intermission though, and we'll be back in just a moment on the SPU webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Set number 3 coming up from Royal Brome Pavilion in Seattle. Greg Sexton with you on the SP webcast. And the Falcons lead 2-0 over the Simon Fraser Red Leafs. It has been a while since the Red Leafs have dropped 2 sets in a match, let alone 3, as their last loss was in September. And all of their wins since then have been either 3 or 4 sets. They have not gone 5 in a while. They will serve to begin the third set. Ava Person will put it in play. And Allison Wilkes taps it over. And the Red Leafs keep it alive. Unger sends it back. Tolino sets it up for Wilkes again. And Dexter keeps it alive. Tolino for La Rochelle. And she spikes it over off the hands of Unger. And La Rochelle a kill to begin the third set. Allison Wilkes will serve. Wilkes sends it over. And a block up front by Hannah Hare and Aaron Smith. Falcons lead 2-0 here. Simon Fraser with a 9-match win streak on the line here. Long way to go here in the third set. Just getting underway. This is going to be an ace for Wilkes, though. And the Falcons go up 3-0 here in the third set. This one going to be set up for Dexter. And now La Rochelle had it blocked. Falcons keep it alive. Smith taps it over. And there is a kill for Logan Remington, the freshman out of Mercer Island, Washington. And that gets the Red Leafs on the board here in the third set. It'll be Megan Hawkins to serve, with the Falcons leading 3-1. Hannah Hare spikes that one over. No question about that one. She had everything on that swing. 4-1, Falcons with the lead. Smith sends it over. And here's Hill. She's blocked. Person will set it up for Hill again. This time she gets it over the front line for the Falcons. But La Rochelle sends it back. Here's Hill again. A third crack at it. Cunningham the dig. Tolino sets it up for La Rochelle again. And now Dexter taps it and came up short. Falcons take a 5-1 lead. Apologize, I have not had stats available tonight. And getting a low battery warning on the laptop here as Smith sends it over. So I apologize in advance if We cut out. Tolino with the fake set there, sends it over. The Falcons have really been on a roll since they were down 6 in the first set. And this has not been the Red Leafs' night to this point. They still have time to turn it around. Smith sends it over. Hill will set it up for Dexter, and it's going to stay on the Falcons' side. Brooke Dexter with the kill there. That'll make it 6-2 in favor of the Falcons, and Mason Unger will serve. She sends it over. Cunningham the dig. Tolino sets it up for Hare, and she spikes over another one. And it's 7-2 Falcons here in the third set. Sydney Perry and Zoe Schuckert check in. And Eva La Rochelle to serve. La Rochelle's got a lot of playing time here in her freshman season. Perry sends it over. Unger there for the dig. Here's Hill, and there's Lopez. Tolino, another fake set, and it works again. And Tolino, I said something earlier about picking her spots. She's picked a few spots here, particularly in this third set. And she puts the Falcons up by 6, 8-2. Here's La Rochelle getting a piece of the net on the way over. Dexter sends it back. Schuckert's there for the dig. Tolino sets it up for Sydney Perry. And Perry is going to end up with a kill as the Red Leafs unable to keep that one alive. Gina Schmidt taking a timeout. It's been all Falcons for a little while here. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Falcons with a 9-2 lead here in the third set. They are up 2-0. They won the first one 25-23, and then they really dominated the second one. And so far, it's been more of the same here in the third set. It's 9-2. Davida Hill sends it over and lands it out of bounds. Falcons didn't touch it. It's 10-2 SPU. Eva La Rochelle on serve still. Puts it over. And this one set up for Kovacevic. And she lands it in bounds for the kill. And the Red Leafs get it back on the side out, 10-3. The score now. Brooke Dexter on serve. Tolino sets it up for Perry, and she lands it in bounds. Sydney Perry to the opposite side of the court and lands it in. And it's 11-3. Falcons by 8. Lopez to serve. Here's Person with the cross-court set for Hill. She puts it over. Here is La Rochelle. This one's off the ceiling, and it's going to be a kill for the freshman. Eva La Rochelle has the Falcons up by 9, 12-3 here in the third set. And Simon Fraser just does not have an answer for SPU tonight. As Falcons just 6-7 in conference play, but they may end up with wins here at home. There's an ace by Lopez. 13-3. They may end up with wins here at home against the top two schools, top two teams in the GNAC. They beat Central Washington here at home. And on their way here to an upset of Simon Fraser. They get Western Washington on Saturday. Western Washington won in 4 sets at Montana State Billings. This one is going to be a kill. And I believe it was Hill that got to that one. And it ends up going out of bounds on the Falcons' side as they unsuccessfully try to block it. 13-4, and Davita Hill will serve for Simon Fraser. Lopez with the dig. Here's Tolino setting it up for Perry, and she's blocked. As Lemoyne Sells and Kovacevic get to that one. 13-5 now. Red Leafs back within 8. Still a ways to go here in this third set. La Rochelle stays with it, and Wilkes sends it over for the kill. And the Falcons lead it by 9, 14-5. Aaron Smith will check in for Zoe Schuckert, and it'll be Emily Tolino to serve.
I found this on the web.
For SPU. That one's going to go out. And so, service error by Tolino. We saw a lot of service errors earlier in this match. They have not been as frequent lately. But it'll be Ava Kademi checking in to serve for SFU. Aaron Smith powers one over. And the Falcons lead it 15-6 here in the third set. Unger back in for the Red Leafs. And Cunningham will serve. This has been, to this point, a dominant effort here by the Falcons. Still got a ways to go to close out this third set. Tolino will set it up for Aaron Smith, and another spike and another kill for the senior, the fifth-year player out of Carlsbad, California. 16-6. Falcons by 10. Cunningham sends it over. There's Hill with the dig. And sent back over by Remington. And the Red Leafs back within 9. Remington will check out now. Dexter and Person back in. And Ava Person to serve. Red Leafs defeated the entire GNAC since their last loss. Tolino sets it up for La Rochelle. And now the other side to Aaron Smith. Person for Hawkins. And now Tolino again for La Rochelle. She sends it out of bounds. And the Red Leafs back within 8, 16-8. Not going anywhere quite yet. Red Leafs will be at Billings on Saturday. And Western Washington will be here at Royal Brougham. That'll be a 1 p.m. first serve. Normally, Saturday afternoon matches here at Royal Brougham start at 2. But the men's basketball team, I should say there's a men's basketball doubleheader. It'll be a neutral site game first. Azusa Pacific is going to take on Cal Poly Pomona. And then the Falcons will host Chico State at 7:30. 17-8, Falcons get it back, and Allison Wilkes is on serve. And that one's going to end up back on the other side of the net. Here's Hannah Hare, and she's blocked. And this one sent over by Remington, and it goes out of bounds, and the Falcons leave it alone. And they lead by 10 again, 18-8. Allison Wilkes to serve. Remington taps it over. Wilkes is there. And now La Rochelle sending it across to the other side and landing it in bounds. And the Falcons dominating this third set just like they did the second. It is 19-8 here in set number 3. And we'll step aside here on the SPU webcast as Gina Schmidt has called another timeout. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. 19-8. The Falcons lead it here in the third set. And Allison Wilkes on serve. Here's Hannah Hare sending it over. Is that one dug by Davida Hill and it cleared the net. Jocelyn Sherman will check back in and she'll come get Davida Hill. And it is 20-8. Falcons with the lead. Wilkes with a lot of English on that one. That one was a knuckleball coming over, and it's an ace for Allison Wilkes. It is 21-8. SPU in front. First set turned out close. The Falcons dug out of a 6-point hole and won the first set 25-23. But it's been all Falcons in set 2 and set 3. Tolino gets a hand on that one. Here's Aaron Smith. Has it popped up in the air. Dexter sends it back, and that one Tolino can't get to. And it's a kill for Brooke Dexter. 21-9, your score. Was able to get the laptop plugged in, so we're not getting the low battery warning, but still not able to get the live stats up here. Aaron Smith sends it over. Sherman sends it back. And now here's La Rochelle. La Rochelle really taking some harder swings, I've noticed, in this match in particular. Of course, I don't see the matches on the road, but Eva La Rochelle, her confidence has grown as the season has progressed. Subs in for both teams here with the score at 22-9. Avery Veenendahl from La Crosse, Wisconsin is going to come in and serve. And no, they're not going to sub in anybody for the Red Leafs. It looked like Jaden Armstrong was going to come in, but Veenendahl comes in and puts it into the net. So good thought there by Jason Ryan. Veenendahl we'll give her credit for give her a break for being cold over on the bench all night. And now the Red Leafs back within 22-10. Unger sends it over, and the Falcons unable to return it. It's going to be an ace for Mason Unger. 22-11. Red Leafs lead it. Falcons lead it, rather. Red Leafs trail by double digits. And another point there. Another kill for Nina Kovacevic, redshirt freshman from West Vancouver. And it's 22-12. Here's La Rochelle and Unger with the dig. And Dexter sends it back, and that's going to be another kill. And the Red Leafs not going away yet. They have run off the last 5 points here in this third set. We'll see how long Jason Ryan will let this one go before he tries to stop the momentum. This is going to be an ace. And the Red Leafs, now have scored the last 6. Jason Ryan has 2 timeouts. Gina Schmidt does not have any left in this third set. And Jason Ryan will see if he can get his team to course correct here without having to take another timeout, or without having to take any timeouts here. Falcons with some good efforts there to keep a couple of those alive on this point. Here's La Rochelle that gets it through a couple of defenders up front, a couple of blockers. But this one's still going. Here's Hannah Hare, and she's blocked out of bounds by Sherman. And Hare with the kill. And the Falcons lead by 9. 23-14. La Rochelle to serve. See if she can get a couple of points here and close this out. That one got a little bit of the net on the way over. Red Leaf send it back. Dexter putting it back over. Here's Perry. And that one is going to stay on the Red Leaf side, as they could not keep that one up off the floor. Set point, match point here for SPU. Eva La Rochelle on serve. 24-14. And the Falcons really have dominated Simon Fraser tonight, surprisingly, as Simon Fraser had won 9 in a row and still trying to keep this one alive. Tolino sets it up for Hare, and that one blocked back on to the SPU side by Sherman and Kovacevic. And it's 24-15. Brooke Dexter will serve for the Red Leafs. But the Red Leafs are in an impossible hole here. Here's Hare, and that one stays on the Simon Fraser side. Unger unable to dig it up. SPU with a dominant win here tonight over the conference leaders. The Simon Fraser Red Leafs came in 11-1, and the Falcons not only sweep them, but they dominate the second and the third set. They get this third set by a count of 25-15, and it just was not the Red Leafs' night whatsoever. They were up 12-6 in the first set, and really from that point, the Falcons called a timeout. And it was all Falcons after that. They that first set stayed close. They were able to pull it out by a count of 25-23, but then they just run away with both of the second set and the third set. And the Falcons go to 5-2 on their home floor. They go to 7-7 in GNAC play. 7-15 overall, but the conference record sounds a little better. They're kind of right in the middle of the pack in the GNAC. Simon Fraser drops to 11-2, and we can check in on what's going on in Ellensburg with Central Washington hosting Alaska Anchorage, and it looks like Central Washington is on their way to a sweep. They're up 18-8 in the third set, and they've won the first 2, so Central Washington could pull back into a tie with Simon Fraser. Simon Fraser won the first match between those two teams earlier this year, but they're going to match up again coming up. It'll be on November 16th. It'll be 1 week from this Saturday. And that match is going to take place in Burnaby, British Columbia. So Simon Fraser gets to host that one. But looking like Central Washington is going to be tied with Simon Fraser atop the GNAC. Alaska Fairbanks gets a win over Northwest Nazarene in 3 sets. They go to 10-4 in conference. And Western Washington gets a 4-set win at Billings tonight. Western Oregon sweeps aside St. Martin's. And Western Oregon, just a game behind Seattle Pacific. They're now 6-8. Seattle Pacific now 7-7. But neither of those teams, Western Oregon or Seattle Pacific, is likely to make the postseason. It's looking like Simon Fraser, Central Washington, and possibly Fairbanks and possibly Western Washington will potentially go. Typically, the GNAC may get 2 or 3, occasionally maybe 4 schools into the tournament. But Simon Fraser, Central Washington, I believe, in good position to make it this year. Simon Fraser, though, just did not have it tonight as they dropped this one in 3 sets. And normally I'd like to give a recap of the individual stats, some of the team stats as well. Kind of update those as we go along, but we were unable to get the live stats sorted out tonight. I can tell you that the Falcons win in 3 sets and dominate sets 2 and 3. First set was close. It finished at 25-23. Falcons dominate sets 2 and 3. They are gearing up for the Western Washington Vikings on Saturday afternoon. That will be a 1 p.m. first serve, and then a couple of men's basketball games after that. A couple of men's basketball games tomorrow if you're interested in watching multiple sports on the SPU webcast here. I'll be back next couple of days and on Monday as well. So first of 7 sporting events over the next 5 days goes to the SPU Falcons in 3 sets. And they sweep aside the Red Leafs. The only, Simon Fraser defeated Central Washington, so did SPU, and now SPU has defeated Simon Fraser as well. Central Washington's other loss was to Simon Fraser. So Simon Fraser's loss was to Western Washington. And the Falcons beat Western Washington in Bellingham, which never happens, or rarely happens, I should say. They get the Vikings again here at Royal Brougham tomorrow afternoon. 1 p.m. the first serve. We will talk to you then. If you don't tune in for basketball tomorrow, we'll talk to you when volleyball resumes on Saturday afternoon here. Western Washington will be here for a good rivalry match, as the Falcons and Vikings have had some good matches over the years. The Vikings really are a difficult team to beat for the Falcons. We'll see if they can sweep the Vikings this year. They beat them in Bellingham. Last year, the Falcons won the GNAC, and the only team that they didn't beat was Western Washington. But we'll see how things go on Saturday. Falcons have been playing really well at home lately. They have won 5 straight on their home floor as they get this one over Simon Fraser in 3 sets. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast. We will talk to you Saturday, if not sooner, for basketball. We'll see you Saturday afternoon. Western Washington will be in the building, and we'll have it for you on the SP webcast. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.